grandma made that. Yeah, grandma made that for them, and they were like,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Robert Nellams. I'm director here at Seattle Center, and I'd like to welcome you all to this great place again today. And I'd like to welcome you into the future home of KEXP, something that we are all excited about. I'm really pleased to be here and be at the table signing this agreement today. There's a lot of reasons for that, but just in a nutshell. One, the vibrancy that KEXP is going to bring to this corner of the campus, the connections that it's going to have, not just inside to the campus, but very importantly outside, and bringing uptown and the campus more in line. And the fact that we will also be connected to all of their vast listeners and making sure that they understand just how cool this place is as they think this KEXP is that cool also. So we love that connection. We love those kinds of things, and so we love those kinds of partnerships. KEXP will bring kind of a hipness to the campus. When we built the skateboard park, my daughter said, Dad, your cool factor just went up a little bit. And I said, that's cool. And if KEXP comes on, our hip factor will go up a bit. And I've already, I've talked to a couple of people like Deborah Pearson from SIF, and we have SIF, we have Vera, and then KEXP will be here. This will become kind of that cool corner of the campus, and that'll be that hip factor. And so I was walking over here asking myself, I said, what is hip? Tell me if you think you know. And I said, that's really the beauty of this place, the beauty of Seattle Center. Because for some, what is hip is KEXP. For others, what is hip is the ballet. For others, what is hip is the EMP. For others, what is hip is the programming that we do, like Winterfest. For others, what is hip is a game or a concert in Key Arena. For others, what is hip is the festival that we do. That is the beauty of Seattle Center. And KEXP will make an outstanding contribution to our hip factor. So, I would like to say, in these very difficult economic times, it's great to celebrate something. It's even better to celebrate something as good as this. So I look forward to the opportunity when we can break ground on a great new location, a great home with KEXP. They will be a wonderful partner with Seattle Center. They will continue to be a very strong and important asset for our community. And with that, I would like to introduce someone who helped make this happen, our mayor, Mike McGinn.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I've been bringing down the average hipness quotient for years and years now, any room I enter. So, I'm glad to be around you guys. Okay, you guys are you're music fans here. Can we get, who did Robert quote there? Come on, let's hear it.
Tower Power.
Tower Power. Okay, man. I just needed to hear it. Okay, just needed to know. Hey, it's been a piece of work. I thought it was Tower of Power, but I wasn't sure. I needed the confirmation. I need the affirmation. So it took a little while to get here, and this was when it started. This was a very challenging issue, not just KEXP, but how do we take advantage? We had the North Fun Forest site. I don't want to say it's the most challenging issue, because we've had some pretty challenging issues in city government, but this was a tough one initially, because there was a lot of concern that we were pushing ahead and we weren't listening to the public about what were the right choices for Seattle Center and its space. So we opened up and said, okay, it's time to listen, it's time to solicit a bunch of different proposals, and that's what we did. And why that was important is that Robert knows this, and many of you know it. The city of Seattle loves Seattle Center. And it has a really deep sense of ownership at Seattle Center. And Robert spoke about the diversity of it. People want to make sure there's different parts of it. that relates to them, but they also want to know that as a whole, the whole thing is going to work as well. So it was very exciting when we were able to get to the point where we could do something with Shivuli and we could do something with KEXP and get them here. And changing, the vitality of the center is very, very important to us. And KEXP is going to do some great things. Their ability to redesign the space to literally open up to the neighborhood instead of have a wall separating the neighborhood from the campus will be really important. I'm going to bring in a whole new set of users of the campus, or it'll keep users here longer for different experiences than they had before. The concert at the mural have been absolutely fabulous in helping activate the space. I came here one night and that was occurring, and there were kids out and parents out around the fountain, and folks were heading into the opera. It's just, when you get that mix of uses too, you start getting some unique things that can happen as well. So there's going to be tremendous activation of the space through KEXP. And of course, it's going to be wonderful to hear over the radio, and I am a KEXP listener. It's going to be wonderful to hear over the radio, live from Seattle Center. It's just going to be great to hear that. And that's heard in a lot of different places. KEXP is a real leader in putting its music online and live streaming. So they are listened to, around the country and around the globe. And if that means that people will want to maybe come visit Seattle Center and visit that cool, radio station and visit the center, that'll be great. And we think we'll see some of that. It's we're a lucky town that way, and that people want to come here. We need to thank all of the, obviously the public spoke and said what they cared about. There were individuals who were involved in the oversight, the Citizens Committee folks. I know Bill Block is one of them, and I'm sorry if I don't have everyone's name in front of me, but there are others as well who really worked and struggled to deal with these proposals and help make the most of it. So thank you so much. And of course to Robert Nellams and Seattle Center staff, thank you so much for pushing and pushing for a vision of Seattle that Seattle will really enjoy in the future. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Tom Mara.
Well, it's nice to know that I have another thing in common with Mayor McGinn, and that is and also Robert, the struggle to keep your hip factor up high enough in front of your children. I'd like to thank you for coming today, and I'd like to start by saying, thank you, Mayor McGinn, for your early and continual support of this initiative, and thanks to the rest of you for coming today. KEXP, as a Seattle-based nonprofit organization, this is what we do. KEXP is relentlessly focused on championing music and discovery experiences. That's our job. Our job is to bring music into people's lives. And our home at Seattle Center will allow us to provide people in Seattle and around the world with unprecedented access to hundreds of one-of-a-kind music experiences and in-studio performances every year, and help strengthen Seattle's reputation as a music capital and as a cultural leader. Each year we produce about 500 in-studio performances with artists, with a special emphasis on Northwest artists. And our new home at Seattle Center will be a place where the artist and his or her next listener will connect. KEXP's new home will also be the pivot point for new partnerships in our community. As we announced last year, we committed ourselves to building greater collaborations with Seattle schools, Seattle Public Library, Vera Project, EMP, and Seattle Channel. And we're looking forward to working more closely with our new neighbors, the incredible organizations at Seattle Center. Simply put, KEXP at Seattle Center, in and by itself, I think, is an act of music stewardship by our community. Look at what our city accomplished. I am keenly proud and grateful for how Mayor Mike McGinn, Councilmember Sally Bagshaw, Seattle Center Director Robert Nellams came together early on. It took a lot of work, a lot of collaboration, a lot of creativity, and a lot of strategic thinking to create a vision that's all about upholding Seattle and her music. We're both proud of you, and we are grateful for your leadership. I'm also proud of how our board, our advisory council, our staff, our volunteers worked so very hard to get us to this point. And I'm proud of how community leaders stood up to support this vision as well. And I'm proud of our long-standing partner, the University of Washington, which has never been more supportive. Randy Hodgins, Paul Jenny, and Aaron Horde at the University of Washington have all been rock stars as well here. As you might have heard, we now have an agreement with the University of Washington to program 90.3 FM for the next 30 years, thanks to their commitment to KEXP and their leadership. And we are proud of you all, the community. And let me tell you about this pride. It is a hometown pride. It is a city pride. It is a pride based on the accomplishment and the wonder of how music is created and circulates through and beyond our city and upholds her. And I do declare Seattle's music currency, her creative currency, is flowing. I don't think it's flowed more strongly or gushed farther, and it's flowing so strongly because we've been able to come together and steward this music ecosystem. In my view, it all starts with our most basic need to make our lives and each other's lives better. As a proud father of a talented musician, my 22-year-old Katie, my wife and I had this courtside seat to how this amazing person, just witnessing how she simply needs to make music and she also needs to share it. The need to create and to share is a strong one. Then there's this need of the rest of us to receive this art, this music. Music makes us think. Music makes us move. Music makes us feel. And music makes us evolve. Music makes lives better. And Seattle's been able to steward this connection between the artist and the receiver of his or her art. She's been doing it for some time now, and I believe she's getting even better at it. Seattle's reputation as a music mecca is fueled not just by gifted artists, but by a community that provides them with opportunities to flourish. The more we uphold artists and their music. As a member, Sally Bagshaw, Seattle Center Director Robert Nellams, we could not have done it without you. With this experience, I've come to understand city government to a much greater extent. I'm really glad I took that American government class in 11th grade. And I am so impressed by each of you and the people who work for you. People like Ethan Raub and Michelle Scolari, James Cublis, and Steve Johnson in your office, Mr. Mayor. And people like Phil Rowe and Karen Turner in your office, Councilmember Bagshaw. And people like Carrie Smith and John Murner in your office, Director Nellams. And I also wish to especially thank my colleagues Andrew Corey and Denise Burnside, along with John Hoyt and his team at Pyramid for their talents, creativity, and unrelenting commitment. I simply say wow. With this agreement with our city, we can now turn our attention to mapping the next major milestones, the capital campaign to fund the vision, the designing of the facility, the commencement of its construction. I invite you to join this initiative to steward music and make lives better, and stay tuned. Let me now introduce Council Member Sally Bagshaw, who played a critical role in fostering this initiative and stewarding the public process, which I firmly believe created an outcome much more grand than we had imagined. Thank you, Sally.
So I just want to add a couple of things, and Tom Mara and Andrew and all the KEXP family, thank you so much, because what you are bringing to the city of Seattle is that this is the music mecca, and it's going to be only grander because of you here. And what we have accomplished over the last year, and I laugh when you say that you've learned so much more about government. I mean, part of this is, I know, very painful, but it is a much better situation now because of the work that everybody here put into it. You are going to be at the corner. I love the idea of the cool corner of campus. You know, that is just right. You can imagine what this is going to be at the base of Queen Anne and the intersection with Uptown and with Seattle Center. It's a place where people are going to want to come. And we know it's not just about music, but it's about our economy too. You are going to be bringing more jobs, more people here because people are going to want to come here. And it's very exciting to me. I remember the days when KEXP was KCMU. I was a young attorney on the University of Washington campus, and it was great. Well, didn't you tell me it was KCMU stood for Communications 101? That's where it's got its name. And look at what it has come to now. And I've got a son who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and you have a station there that people are looking back at Seattle through New York and thinking, we in New York wish we were as cool as what's going on in Seattle, and I just commend that. I just think it is so important. And you really are this beacon of hope to new musicians, because people listen to you because new music is played on your channel, and that just matters so much. And personally, I want to thank James Keblis. I saw him earlier, I don't know. James, thank you, because the Film and Music Office in our city is something that makes me very personally very proud. And it is, again, so exciting and vital to what we're doing here in our city. It's really been an honor and a privilege, Tom, to work with you, Andrew, the rest. Robert, thank you for your patience, and eminently patient man. As chair of the Parks and Seattle Center Committee, I put Robert through all kinds of paces, but you have been a gentleman throughout. I'm just very respectful of where we've come. And it's something that I learned a year ago from KEXP, and people have been teasing me about this ever since. I learned that fleet foxes are not indigenous to Discovery Park. For that, I am very grateful. And I have one message to KEXP from Jan and my office staff, and she wanted to give special thanks to DJ Riz for calming her down on Monday nights. So now, live from Seattle Center, we have the signing.
Yeah.
Over here?
Just go, man. Just go. Yeah, that's good. Well, they're doing the signing. Is it on? What the hell?
Are you going to sing for us, Mr. Mayor?
No, I'm not going to sing. Is it on? There we go.
This page on all three copies. So you can give yours to Robert.
I signed the legislation. Sally's committee passed the legislation. So here we go, back to Civics 1. Isn't there, Schoolhouse Rock song on this somewhere? Yeah, okay. I don't know it. No. Okay, the legislature authorizes Robert to sign on behalf of Seattle Center of the city. Yeah, that's right. There we go. So, we've got the attorneys in here, we've got the consultants in here, you have the city council, the mayor's office, the agency, the private party. It takes a little bit of work to get here. Wait till you start working on that building and you got to come through TPD. Thank you, everybody. I know that we've got a reception planned some point in the future, don't we? Absolutely. Tomorrow? Okay. We'll have a chance to catch up then. Thank you.